world. There's also a spot me and my friend Mark found. Can't see it now, but there was an opening down here beyond this grass that we were able to slip down. It might have been right around here, and the branches that you see here in front of you were growing in a different pattern back then. And they grew literally into a arc at one point. And my friend Mark and I, we found that we were able to hide under there, and we were able to get some plastic and weave it through the arch of the branches. Once we weaved that, we had a nice hiding place just to hang out. Not many people knew about it. Not many people care about it. So anyway, as I said, this is the football field, the hockey rink, as it were. And I did a lot of playing up here. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the video, the front side of the church hall, similar to the back side, as you can see, the portion in the middle has that strange bricked over look, and the left and right sides, as you can see, have a completely different pattern. That's because way back in the day, there used to be weddings here, I would imagine, every Saturday, the wedding banquet, as it were. Behind these bricks are windows, and we little street urchins, as we were back then, we would come up here and interrupt the festivities by pressing our noses against the windows, smearing it and banging on the windows, and just bothering the bride and the groom and their families and friends, till it just finally got to the point where they'd had enough. And I guess they must have spoken to the priest at the time and said, let's go ahead and get that taken care of, and so they covered it up. Doggone shame, though, too. It was a lot of fun. So, now we're going to turn back this way. We're going to walk down this place. Now, I've lived in the Carrick area probably 53 or 54 out of my 57 years. This is supposed to be a driveway, and back in the day it was a crystal clear driveway, the same material the parking lot itself is made out of. This driveway would curl down here, and it would go all the way down to Edgar, where it would meet up at the bottom of the driveway. You can see it's pretty much overgrown, not much going on here at all. All my times that I lived here too, all the years, I do not recall seeing cars ever go up or down this, despite it being a wide open driveway at the time. Now if we walk down here a little bit, I'm not sure if there's room, but there's another spot here that my friends and I used to hang out at. We were teenagers at the time, and I'm not sure again if you can see it. Let's walk up over this hill a little bit. Okay, yeah, this looks about right. You can see down through the hillside here, St. Pius actually owns all this property. This is actually where you can see down the alley. Remember the earlier video I did regarding the alley? You can see it down there in front of you. This spot here, or the approximate spot, we used to come down here, me and a few of my friends, and we would go ahead and walk all the way over, pretty much as far as you could go, right over here. And in the summertime, we would hang out. We would just pretty much stop right here and just sit here. The trees, of course, were not as grown, and we could see down further onto Valera, which is beyond the alley that you see down there. It was a nice place to hang out. If you go a little further, you can see somebody has worn a path down further into the backyards. We used to hang out down there too. I found a penny from 1909 down there in the dirt somewhere years and years ago, and it must have fallen out of somebody's pocket back in the day. And it led me to think a few years later that since the John and Phillips mansion was up there, this would have been their backyard area. and one of their children or one of their family or one of their staff may have been down in this area and dropped that penny from 1909. So actually, I'm very surprised this area is still open. You can see some people have been here. There is some garbage. Understandable. Anyway, let's go back up this way. And I just want to show you one more thing on this side. Now down here, actually directly in front of us, there is all of those weeds beyond the broken stones and bricks you see here. That area used to be all flat, and just somebody was a groundskeeper because the grass never really grew high. We would actually play Kill the Man with a Ball down here. I'm not sure if you're from the Carrick area or not, but Kill the Man with a Ball was just simply a football game where you toss the ball up in the air. Whoever grabbed it had to try to run around in a circle or around a yard or somehow, and everybody else will of course try to pile on and beat the living daylights out of him or her, because we did have some women who played, or young girls who played as well. Now again, I am not sure where the path was that came up through here. It was somewhere in this general vicinity. It would come up over here. We would walk over here on our way up to Concord School, because back then Concord School did not have a backside to it other than the old building. We would come up through here and usually just step over here if there was any barrier back then, and we would proceed across the little driveway, and right up through here, again the paths are since covered over, we would go ahead and walk up through those woods, turn left, and then head on up to Concord School itself to play ball. Alas, those days are long gone. So now, as I said, as you can see, the driveway is just completely grown over. I'm not sure if anything's ever going to be done with it. It's a shame too, because it would be a real boost for people to be able to go ahead, come up Edgar, and then go ahead, come all the way up here through the parking lot, or vice versa. So, come back up here. The only times I come up here now is to go ahead and do some drone flying. I do that as a hobby, but even that's not too often anymore. So here it is, as I said, one of the playing fields of my youth, St. Pius's parking lot, or as we just called it, Pius. Whenever anybody was going to do something, play a game, they'd simply say, "We'll see you up at Pius." So that's it for me.